Today, we're diving into a Mahayana Buddhist sutra that is designed, quite literally, to short-circuit our normal way of thinking. It's this incredible dialogue that just challenges the very foundation of what we think reality is, what a person is, and what it even means to be enlightened. So get ready, because this one goes deep. So the text kicks off with this classic, really powerful opening, "Thus I have heard." Now, this isn't just some fancy, formal introduction. It's like a seal of authenticity. It's a direct link, stretching back through generations, telling us that what we're about to hear are the words of the Buddha. This simple phrase just immediately sets this timeless, authoritative tone. And the setting? Well, the setting itself is just epic. Picture this. We're in Jeddah Grove, and the audience is absolutely extraordinary. You've got the Buddha, 1,000 of his senior disciples, and 10,000 bodhisattvas. These are highly advanced beings who are dedicated to the enlightenment of everyone. This scale tells you right off the bat, this isn't some minor teaching. This is a major spiritual event. Now, at the very heart of this sutra is a conversation between two absolute legends. First, you have Shariputra, the Buddha's top disciple who's known for his razor-sharp logic and his analytical mind. And on the other side, you have Mañjuśrī, the bodhisattva who literally embodies this perfection of wisdom. It's a classic setup, right? Logic goes head-to-head with ultimate transcendent truth.
The way Mañjuśrī even enters the scene is so important. He's not just there to see his teacher, the man Gautama. He says he's come to see the Buddha as the true nature of reality itself, as something that was never born, will never die, and never changes. From his very first words, he's playing on a completely different field.
So, this all sets the stage for the central puzzle of the text. It's a question that sounds like a pretty straightforward logical problem, but the answer just shatters all the rules of spiritual math. And Shariputra, who's basically our stand-in for logic and common sense, poses the question. And it makes perfect sense, doesn't it? If you have a huge group of beings and you keep moving them out of that group into nirvāṇa, the original group should get smaller, simple subtraction. But Mañjuśrī says that even if every Buddha in existence does this for ages, the number of beings in the realm of beings doesn't change one bit. How on earth is that possible?
And here it is, the mind-bending answer. Mañjuśrī says the number doesn't change because our whole idea of a being as some fixed, separate, countable thing is an illusion. You can't add or subtract things that don't have a solid, independent existence to begin with. So get this, he doesn't solve the math problem, he completely dissolves the very premise the math was built on.
This incredibly radical view is the very essence of Prajñāpāramitā, the perfection of wisdom. It's a way of seeing that goes beyond the surface of things to perceive the fundamental emptiness of everything. Now, this is so crucial. This does not mean nothingness. It means that nothing, not you, not me, not a rock, has a fixed, separate, unchanging self. Everything is interconnected. Everything is in constant flux. Okay, so how does this giant abstract idea actually translate into a practice? If this wisdom sees through everything, how do you live it? Well, the text introduces this key concept of non-abiding, which is basically the practice of refusing to get stuck in all the pairs of opposites that we use to define our world.
Yeah, that's the natural next question, isn't it? If this wisdom is the goal, where's the instruction manual? How do you hold on to a perspective that seems to have absolutely nothing to hold on to?
And the answer is, of course, a beautiful paradox. You practice abiding in this wisdom by not abiding, by not planting a flag anywhere. You let go of that deep mental habit of carving the world up into this versus that, good versus bad, me versus you.
Let's take the huge concepts of saṃsāra and nirvāṇa. Conventionally, we see saṃsāra, the cycle of suffering, as this prison we need to escape from, and nirvāṇa as the ultimate prize we have to win. But this perfect wisdom, it doesn't get caught in that game. It sees neither something to hate nor something to desperately chase after.
And it's the exact same thing with people. We look at an ordinary person and think, that state must be abandoned. Then we look at a saint and think, I have to attain that state. But from this ultimate viewpoint, there's no essential state to be thrown away, and there's no state to be grasped onto.
This even applies to our own spiritual bookkeeping. We spend so much energy trying to get rid of our faults and collect merit points. But this wisdom sees that in the ultimate sense, the ledger is completely empty. There's no fundamental gain or loss. This is a radical letting go of the entire project of self-improvement as we usually think of it.
So if we're supposed to let go of all these concepts, all these goals, what are we even aiming for? What does it really mean to achieve the goal of Buddhism, which is so often described as seeing the Buddha?
The sutra gives us this incredibly profound answer. And wait a second, does that description sound familiar? It should. It's the exact same way Mañjuśrī described ultimate reality when he first showed up. Seeing a Buddha isn't about seeing a person, it's about seeing the fundamental nature of reality itself.
And here is the final, amazing twist. If the Buddha is the nature of reality, and you are part of reality, then to truly see the Buddha is to see your own true nature. The distinction between the one who's seeing and what is being seen, it completely collapses.
And you might be thinking, this is all just wild, abstract philosophy. But according to the text, the power of this teaching was immediate and real. As this dialogue was happening, 16,000 beings in the audience had a profound breakthrough. They directly realized this truth. They got it. Okay, so this has all been very high level, very philosophical, but the sutra doesn't just leave us hanging there. In the second half, the Buddha provides a concrete, hands-on method for ordinary people to actually begin to access this state of mind. He calls it the one practice samadhi, or the one practice concentration. And it's a technique that's specifically designed to cut through all the clutter of our dualistic minds and allow us to touch this singular unified reality. The instructions are actually surprisingly direct. The practice is pretty simple. You find a quiet place, sit down, and just let go of all the distracting thoughts and appearances. Then, you bring your entire mind to one single point of focus, one Buddha, and you just single-mindedly chant that Buddha's name. The principle here is just beautiful. By focusing your entire being on one Buddha, you start to realize that the qualities of that one Buddha are the qualities of all Buddhas. The particular opens up into the universal. The one becomes a gateway to realizing the oneness of the ultimate nature of reality itself. And so we end with what is maybe the most challenging idea in the entire text. It states that from this ultimate perspective, there is no real difference between a perfectly pure practitioner and someone who has committed the most terrible acts. Now, that's not an ethical statement, it's a metaphysical one. And it forces us to ask, what would it truly mean to see the world and everyone in it beyond our concepts of good and bad?